Do y'all remember a video in 2011 called A Day Made of Glass? I hope you do. It was one of my core memories as a child, and one of the only things that made me excited for the future. Well, that and Googling what the next PlayStation would look like. Still blows my mind to this day. Going by some of the top comments on the video, some as recent as a month ago, it seems like a lot of other people share this core memory as well. Let's dive deeper. Kia ora, welcome. I hope you've been well. I've moved to the UK and I don't have a desk, so this is my current setup. For anyone who has no idea what I'm talking about, the video was a promo from a company called Corning Glass, and it was meant to show the ideas that Corning had for ways that technology, more specifically touchscreen and glass technology, would be integrated with our daily lives. And this was all supposed to be happening in the near future. Watching this again in 2023, it got me very curious how accurate that video was. Now, some 12 years later, I wanted to see where we are at with the technology in the video. Has it been invented yet? Is it part of our daily lives? There's a lot of technology in that video, especially from 2011, that was mind-blowing at the time. But first, I want to take a look at the original video. I have a little trip down memory lane. I think I'll need to change the music for copyright, but I mean, it's not great music, so we're not missing out on anything. It's your pretty stock standard. We here at Company see you as a valuable member of our corporate family. You know, just, you're not missing out on much. I should be able to find some royalty-free corporate training video music, and it'll slot right in there. "7 a.m. in the near future." Woo! That first line just gets you really intrigued. You know, it's just another Tuesday in the future. I also do love that in any corporate style video, if someone is waking up, they look amazing and they always get straight up out of bed. No tossing, no turning, no rubbing your eyes, no being completely devastated that you've been awoken from a moment of bliss and that you now have to grind away in the machine like the rest of us. And then this guy goes from sleeping to instantly turning on 5 separate news channels at the same time, picking one that he wants to watch, and then walking away. Also, I felt like I never actually looked at what's on the TV, what's on the big fancy TV in the bedroom, but there's an activity monitor of the house showing where everyone is in the house, which I guess is helpful, but it's also kind of Black Mirror-ish. I don't know, it's a little creepy. Then another shot that stands out to me is this one where this lady is replying to a schedule change and writes, "Okay, yes," without touching the space bar, mind you. Very professional. Then we cut to a scene of this guy chopping his vegetables directly on the glass countertop, which makes me feel super great. One of the kids plays a prank on her sister. Then dad accepts a video call from who I'm guessing his mum and says hello before accepting the call. I also love that we can already see her before he's accepted the call, which is a great feature. Like, had he not accepted that call, would she just be looking at the screen? Now, this is actually a pretty cool feature. He puts the phone down on the table and the video goes onto the table. That's a cool feature. However, if you think about it just a little bit longer, if he's putting the phone on the table, is grandma just looking at the ceiling? The kids are saying hello, but she can't see them. But the camera's pointing up. Where's the other camera? Anyway, then the lady, who we now know as Jennifer because the car knew that it was her before she got in, she goes off to work and we get a glimpse of some of the bigger ideas that Corning had. Now, I'll admit, all of this is super cool. The big display road signs that show detours, bus stops with the built-in maps, you can navigate around town, brilliant. But practically, I'm not so sure about it, and here's why. In my experience, bus stop glass is ever only one of 2 things: broken or dirty as hell. I guess in this world, like, glaziers and window cleaners would be like 6-figure salary jobs. They would be the cornerstone in a society like this. Anyway, then we get some more corporate, boring stuff, cool displays, whatever. This is just shareholder material. We don't care about this. Then we catch up with Jennifer, who I guess didn't go to work and is instead doing some shopping at the mall. I absolutely love, though, that even with all this futuristic technology and the fancy see-through phones, Corning could not imagine a future where phones didn't have a home button. Jennifer ends up buying some killer 2011 clothes. Then we see some more very interesting tech, a rubber iPad. In theory, I guess it's a cool concept, and it would more than anything just be a marvel of like human achievement. But would you really want a floppy tablet that could only be used on a large flat surface? Like, I don't imagine you could use this thing in bed or on the couch. Then we get what is probably the most ambitious piece of technology in this whole video: a 3D holographic television. What? Like, not even like a 3D TV, like with the glasses and all that. No, a 3D holographic television. Holographic projection. Holograms in the near future? That's extremely optimistic for 2011. I'm pretty sure we're not even remotely close to being able to do anything like this, but I guess we'll see in the next part. Anyway, that's basically the end, except we get the guy using the rubber iPad in bed to read a book, and I just noticed that the couple switch sides from the start of the video, which is definitely what couples do when they're sharing a bed. There's no sides. No one claims a side as their own, and is it furious if you use their side. Where are we now? I think it's easy to see why this would have been such a big video in 2011. The hopefulness of a touchscreen utopia where there's no bird poop on the bus stops. But I want to dive a little deeper into a few of the technologies seen in the video, and I want to see where we're at with developing such technologies, or just how close we are from it being a reality. Now, I'm only going to do a few, otherwise we'll be here forever. So I'm going to do the ones I remember sticking out to me as a kid. The touchscreen mirror, the touchscreen kitchen bench / element, the see-through phone, the rubber iPad, of course the big one, the biggest one of the whole video, holographic TV. Now, the research I've done for this video is essentially me typing the technology into YouTube and seeing if I can find a video of the technology being shown, or even if it's just a concept. If we see the technology work, then it's in. And I want to see how far back I can see that technology first pop up. So I'm basically trying to find oldest video I can find of that tech being shown. Now this one on paper, to me, seems like the easiest one to integrate. I mean, we already had touchscreens in 2011, so you just put it on a mirror. Well, bam, touchscreen mirror. And from what I can see, people on YouTube had started building touchscreen mirrors as early as 5 years ago, give or take. Although rudimentary, these mirrors did offer at least some of the features that were shown in the Corning video, but it seems like these weren't a commercial product as such, more just a demonstration that it is possible, and it was more like a DIY project that you could do if you wanted to. So far, the best smart mirror I've come across is from Capstone, and that looks to be most like what we see in the video.
Mirrors have evolved. Capstone Connected Smart Mirror. Touch the screen. 4 integrated speakers. No membership required. Breathe life. Capstone Connected Smart Mirror.
It's actually not as expensive as I thought it would be. $800. Seems pretty reasonable for a smart mirror, as smart mirrors go, I guess. There's not really a lot of competition out there, it seems. So it looks like a tick for smart mirrors. Smart mirrors in. This was definitely one that piqued my interest. I do like to cook. If I can integrate technology with this hobby of mine, we're amazing. Now, this didn't seem to be as popular a concept as I thought it would have been. Obviously, touchscreen induction elements do exist and have for a while, but I wanted to see if I could find anything similar to the video. I was only able to find a video from 2014 from a company called Whirlpool, who showed off the concept cooktop in CES 2014.
It looks like a touchscreen because it is a touchscreen.
But looking further into it, it doesn't appear that they've made it a commercial product yet. They just had the concept. In 2016, they made a video about an interactive kitchen of the future, so kind of similar.
Welcome to the Whirlpool Interactive Kitchen of the Future.
It has this hilarious part where they say in the kitchen of the future, you can put an ingredient down on the counter and the kitchen will recognize the food that it is and give you recipes for that ingredient.
In the future, you won't have to look for recipes. They'll be suggested for you.
Sounds alright, but the example they use is so bizarre. So the guy puts down a bowl of cheese on the counter, and so the kitchen recognizes that it's cheese and gives the person 2 recipes that they can use cheese in. Grilled cheese and mac and cheese, which, as we all know, is the only 2 things you can do with cheese. So then they pick the recipe for grilled cheese sandwich, and the kitchen proceeds to display what is in a grilled cheese. which as we all know is a super complicated recipe. Many chefs don't even dare to attempt to make a grilled cheese for fear of embarrassment. It's just a really odd example to pick. You know, thank God the Kitchen of the Future was there for me. I wouldn't have known what to do with this cheese.
Smart Suite, Smart Backsplash, Smart Induction Surface, Smart Cooktop, Smart Cooking Drawer, the Smart Cooking Drawer, Smart Suite.
Now, I've also found a more recent video from 2020, which is shot vertically. Cheers for that. And it seems to show that we are getting closer to a possible Kitchen of the Future. There's also some funny moments in there.
If it's summertime and you want to put a summer theme on, you can cook over an actual fire. Also, you could cook over lava if you wanted to, right? The guys always ask, what about entertainment, right? Feel this right now, it's getting pretty hot. And then
I don't think we're going to see this in most kitchens for a while, but it does seem like the technology is out there. It does exist, so we'll just have to wait and see, I guess. The see-through phone and the rubber iPad. Now I'm going to cover them both under the same heading. It's kind of in the same vein of like transparent bendy screens. I want to see where we're at with that kind of technology. Back in 2011 and all throughout my teenage years, see-through phones were seen as the next step in phone technology. It was always in TV shows and movies. Anytime there was a futuristic scene, there were see-through phones and bendy screens out the wazoo. And I remember every single year thinking that that was the year Apple was going to release a see-through phone. I think especially during the 2010s, a lot of us looked towards Apple as the leader of technology because they essentially were, at least in the consumer space. And every year I remember Googling the next iPhone concept that was to come out, and I remember it was always the one that was going to be a see-through phone, and then it never was. Although Apple did manage to remove the home button and the headphone jack, so still innovating. But like, thinking about it practically, why would you want your screen to be transparent? Not only would you be battling with what's on the other side of your screen, but there would be zero privacy for you. Everyone can see what's on your phone. Anyway, while doing some research for this, I was having a hard time finding any legitimate videos on the topic because of how many clickbait videos and awesome YouTube shorts there were trying to say that they'd created the first see-through phone.
Transparent phone. Let's see. Whoa, that's awesome!
And while that's all fun and good, I still want to know where we're at with that technology today. Does this technology even exist? And as far as I could see, the oldest see-through displays that looked anything like the Corning video were from around 6 years ago. I mean, they look terrible, but you know, the technology's there and you can see that it's starting to come into fruition. The closest and best looking one I found was from Xiaomi. Linus Tech Tips did a video about it.
That's kind of cool, isn't it? Okay, enough of exploring the ocean. I'm too wet now.
I'm not sure how it works, but I do know that I'd rather just have a normal TV. Again, you'd be seeing what's on the other side of the screen as well. As for bendable displays, you know, it seems like these have been around for a while. The earliest I found was from a CES 2013 Samsung presentation.
Our team was able to make a high-resolution display on extremely thin plastic, and we can actually bend the screen.
Which, as you can see, the crowd goes absolutely wild for. And fast forwarding to today, you can get bendable screens. Well, in the form of folding phones. You know, folding phones, especially recently, have just taken off. It seems like every brand has made one except for Apple. And as for a bendable and transparent screen, well...
Shake your body, don't stop, don't.
Yes, you did hear that correctly. That is some royalty-free music with a very faint My Neck, My Back in the background. God, I love 2023. And here we are, the main event. Do we have holograms in 2023? Kinda? So other than the holograms that use some kind of illusion like a high-speed fan or mirrors or any of that, I think the only thing we have to holograms like the ones in the Corning video are these tech demos from a company called Lightfield Lab.
The result is what Lightfield Lab calls a solid light object that moves, refracts and reflects in physical space.
6 inches into this box and I can't feel anything.
There was a video they posted about 2 years ago debuting this technology, and then a more recent one about 9 months ago showing an update where they're at.
So every time I put my hand in, there's like a gust of air. It's like he's breathing on me.
And it seems like they're kind of in the same spot. Now, this isn't to discredit their work at all. I'll never be able to understand how humans have made any kind of technology. It really seems, especially with hologram technology, it's going to be a while before anything becomes commercially available. That's just how it's looking. In the near future, yeah, I doubt it. So, there we have it. Honestly, I'm surprised how much in the Corning video is real technology that exists now, or is going to very soon be commercially available. It's not in the Corning video, but I remember in 2014 seeing a VR headset for the first time. It was one of the first of its kind, and it sucked. It was huge, it wasn't very good, and it cost about $4,000. And nowadays you can get a standalone VR gaming experience for under $500. I honestly think it's pretty incredible to just think about how fast technology has developed, and how the stuff that we don't have that's in the Corning video is probably not that far away. That's just assuming that we can all just calm down and not blow each other up. There was a second Corning video that was made. It was aptly named A Day Made of Glass 2, but it wasn't as popular as the first. But I'd also love to look into that video as well. There's even more crazy technology in that video that I could fill a whole nother video with. So if that's something you'd like to see, drop a Auga in the comments. Feel free to subscribe if you want. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you don't get stung by a bee this week. And if you do, it was probably your own fault. Bye.